So today I want to talk about celebrities playing bloggers in the public, even their fans, like a fiddle. This is something that I've, decided that I want to talk about. I mean, there's so many things going on in social media right now that I could have talked about, but I choose this because just before I get into this video, I just want to quickly say my videos are meant primarily for the younger members of my family. I've got a very large family that's spread throughout the UK, the United States, and Europe, and the Caribbean as well. So I want to make sure this is the best way I can reach them and give them some knowledge, if you like, and drop some gems along the way and educate them in some of the basics so they don't fall into this social media trap going forwards and get sucked into this cauldron of craziness. So I decided to talk about this topic because I've seen something that it's been around from the beginning of time, but what's been happening is it's getting more and more crazy and more prevalent because of the presence of social media. So I decided I'm going to address it, and that is this celebrities and basically playing the public like a fiddle, including bloggers and media and their fans. So the premise of this is, the way they do it is they'll say and do outrageous things. Just like most people in social media, you see them, they want to get lit, they want to get hype, they want to get the clout. They'll go out with a camera and they'll do the most outrageous things. They'll do pranks, they'll do or say and do things that is outrageous. And celebrities do exactly the same thing. And the reason why they say and do things to manipulate the public is because the bottom line is money. And a lot of people, younger people in my generation can't make the connection because their minds are young and impressionable. So I'm going to make the connection for them. And here it is. If they can say things and do things to manipulate you, whether it's a fake beef or this person is sleeping with this person, or you're watching the latest episode on Love and Hip Hop. I mean, I don't watch that at all. If it comes across my vision, I might watch it, but I don't go out my way to, I need to see the latest episode of Love and Hip Hop. But I'll come to that later. I'm going to address that in this video too. So let's just get into it now deeper. So the way you connect the dots is they manipulate the public by, when they start these fake beefs and they do all these antics, what it does, it brings attraction, it brings attention to them. Now, the more attention it brings to them is the more potential it is for them to increase their following base. It's potentially increased for them for their whatever it is to be spread and to be shared, and also get people to talk about them. And it always happens. This is what I don't believe in coincidence. This always tends to happen in one of two ways. The first way is when they have a new album coming out, EP or single, or they are going on tour or imminent tour dates or whatever it may be. They're doing it to increase their the amount of people that they can bring on board to download and stream or buy their product. So that's the direct connection. The second way is when their career is new and they're trying to establish themselves. That's what they do to get their social media clout up. So that's another way they go about doing it. So it's always, the bottom line is always monetary. It's not really for any other purpose but monetary. And they're being pressured, I would say, by the PR companies, by the record labels or other agencies, management agencies. They're all coerce them and sort of push them in the direction of, you need to do something to get the media to talk about you, to get social media to talk about you. You need to be lit. You need to do all these stuff. Someone like 6ix9ine, unfortunately, he learned the hard way. But he figured out that was the way for him to get lit. If I remember correctly, I stand corrected if I'm wrong, I saw a video somewhere about a year ago or so where he was talking to some guy. I remember who it was. He's talking to this guy, or he was just talking to the camera, I don't know. And he was basically saying he was trying to get into the music scene and he's tried everything the right way and he just couldn't get his clout up. He couldn't get his social media up to where it was so that he can then bring attraction to his music. So he realized that he had to start doing these antics on social media, and then that got his following up. It increased everything went up tenfold. And from that, he can then say, right, okay, because once you get the public eye's attention on you, then you can say, right, here's my music. And then if they like your music, you've got a way in, but even if they don't like your music, you probably end up like somebody like Boonk, who is another famous person that did it, I think, before 6ix9ine, who basically do all these antics to get the attention, but no real music or any sort of hip hop or singing career or whatever it is, or music career behind it. So, but if you have that and you know you have the talent, that's the one methodology they use to get through that door, to get people to notice you. I've done the research. YouTube have something like 1.3 billion users worldwide. And out of 1 billion users, you look at the amount of views I get and I'm like, surely this can't be right. There must be some other, something else is at play here. I won't go into that, but whether that's the case or not, it's neither here nor there. For me, my videos is primarily for my family. And if they get these videos, I normally tell them as soon as I do a video, I say, listen, I've done a new video and I've uploaded it. You need to go and see it. Because I'm dropping knowledge on them. So, you know, they're heavily into social media, and I want to make sure that all this thing that they're buying into social media, they're doing it with their eyes open. So this is really primarily for them. So that, you know, as I say, my family base is spread across the world. So this is the best way I can reach them, by email and text, and then they'll go and watch it. And, you know, just to give them some knowledge going forward, because I'll be damned if I just let celebrities manipulate and brainwash and lead the young, you know, generation astray. They can do it with other people's kids if they want to, because they don't do it with their own kids. But I'm be damned if I'm going to allow them to get in my family's younger generation's head without me putting my input. So with that said, that's the reason why I'm doing this video. The other way that these celebrities manipulate people, for instance, is, as I say, they do fake beefs, and a lot of them actually, as I say, encouraged by the record companies and PR team and so on, they contact each other, these celebrities behind the scene. They contact each other and say, listen, I'm going to start this beef and I'm going to say this about you, and you can clap back and say this, and we'll go back and forth on social media, get our clout up, get our subscriber base up and our following up, get more views and whatever up on the analytics. Then once we reach the target or the objective we want, then we can just piece it up and everything is back to normal. So for the ordinary Joe blogs, they think, oh, they've pieced up and they've made peace. No, they've never been at war. They've never been a beef. It's fake. It's not real. You know, some celebrities are told, dress this way, act this way, speak this way, don't smile, smile, show more skin, don't show more skin. You know, be more raunchy in your videos, you know, wear this almost nothing when you're doing your tour and your concerts and in your music videos. Pose this way in a picture, spread out your legs, do all these kind of stuff to sell sex. And we understand all of that. But for me, I need to let my younger generation and my family understand what is really going on and how they're brainwashing and manipulating you. I mentioned loving hip hop, so I'll touch on that quickly. I hear celebrities come out and say stuff like, oh, you know, loving hip hop, a lot of people say it's fake and it's not real, but it is genuine. Really, I'm not buying that for 1 second. But if you noticed, the people who actually says that are the very people that's actually aspiring to get onto loving hip hop, or the ones that's already on loving hip hop or have been on loving love and hip hop. I keep saying the word wrong. But they're the ones that you see, they're vested. So it's not like somebody that's never been on loving hip hop, that's don't have any intention of going on loving hip hop, or isn't presently on loving and hip hop that's saying it. It's always somebody who is affiliated by either been on it before, trying to get on it, or they're on it, that's saying that. And you can see, you know, obviously they're selling you, you know, the salesman will always talk up his product. The salesman is not going to say, well, you know, cigarettes are bad for you. No, the man that's selling cigarettes, they say, well, it's relaxing, it's cool, it makes you look cool, and A, B, C, D. Don't worry about the cancer and all the other different, you know, effects of, you know, death and so on. That's all in the media. Don't believe what you read. But do you understand my point? So, so those celebrities who are talking up love and hip hop, and don't get me wrong, it's an entertaining segment. I understand what loving hip hop is. Love and hip hop is. I keep saying loving hip hop, and it's love and hip hop, I think. It's not in the UK, but you know, as I say, if it comes on YouTube and it past my peripheral, I'll watch it. But I don't go out my way to try and see the latest episode. I'm not that invested in it. But you know, the point here is I'm not knocking it, but I'm just trying to identify it for what it is. So people in my family, the younger generation, when they see it, okay, they're entertained, they're hyped, and it's lit and A, B, C, D. But just see it for what it is. Once you identify it for what it is, then you can enjoy it and have fun with it and whatever and be entertained by it. But then realize this is that. It's fake. It's not real. A lot of them, they're supposedly friends, but then as soon as the cameras are switched on, they're enemies. One prime example, I remember even Safari, he said something along the lines of, he's been told, I've seen a video of him. Let me just take you back. I've seen a video of him because I did some, watch some videos on Safari. I didn't even realize he was such a good guy in biking. Now I understand certain things when I see it in terms of where a lot of stuff that wasn't clear to me before. I can see where other people, I wouldn't say they're trying to be like Safari, but I can see where other celebrities have picked up other sports and other hobbies, if you like. And it's like they're trying to be, you can see who is genuine and who is just picking up something just for the cameras. And I'm not saying some of them aren't genuine. Probably they are genuine. But here's my point. He's friends with this particular celebrity, which I won't mention. But this celebrity, I've seen a video where he's bought that person, a Gucci bag, and he's holding their child, and he's really being a friend. And I'm like, that's a cool friend to have, And when you look at the lifestyle of Safari, but I'm like, well, if this person is your friend and you've been offended by something, all friends argue, don't they? But so, and they fight from time to time, but there's a way of going about it, but not like, you want to go from 0 to 100 real quick. So you want to take it from misunderstanding straight to violence, as if that person is your enemy. If that person is your friend and they had you like that, then you should be saying, bruh, you're supposed to have my back. You're supposed to be down with each other. What you playing at? What you doing? Where's all this coming from? Let's talk about it. Let's switch off the cameras, get the cameras out of here. All we need to discuss behind the scenes when the love and hip hop cameras are switched off. So according to Safari, it's a situation where everything was cool, but as soon as the camera lights were switched on, then the persona changes and it's all, violence and threatening to do this, that, and the third. When it's not like that, when the cameras are off. And, others, trying to attack him when there's about 2 or 3 bodyguards in between them, that's never going to happen. And I'm thinking, and this is the point I'm trying to make to my family. It's fake and it's all for the cameras. It's not real. And only the celebrities that's on Love and Hip Hop or has taken part in it before, or aspiring to get back onto it or to get onto it for the first time will defend it and say, oh, it's genuine and X, Y, and Z. And I'm not saying there is an element of it that's not true, but what I'm saying is the camera and the presence of the camera amplify it. The whole purpose of Loving Hip Hop is to manipulate the public and to get you, is to help the celebrities springboard their career, basically. And as I said, the only 2 people you see on there is those who have a dying career or those who are just entering into the industry and they're trying to springboard their career, if you like. Either way, those are the type of people you'll see on it. Another quick point I want to make is another way of manipulation. I've heard one rapper say he's better than Tupac. That's just crazy and outlandish, but clever. It will get people to talk about him and so on and so forth. That's another way they manipulate. Another group I'll quickly mention is the Migos. I've heard them say, well, they're the best group ever. They're better than the Beatles. Now, I don't listen to the Beatles music. The Beatles is dead boring to me. It puts me to sleep. It's not my cup of tea. But here's the thing. I've heard about them. So if you don't even into that particular group like that and you still hear about them, then that means they're very famous. Their clout of fame is strong. So for the Migos, I'm like... This is an outrageous statement that a lot of people have actually bought into. But I know that can't realistically be true because you can go anywhere in the world, any corner and crevice of the world, and mention the Beatles and they'll know exactly who they are. And if you go to the same corners and crevice and mention the Migos, people are like, who? Who are the Migos? That's the difference. Even though I don't mess with the Beatles music, they were before my time even, so... It just goes to show you the fact that you're comparing yourself to somebody that's beyond your generation goes to show you how famous they are. Because put it this way, if people are comparing, if 2-3 generations ahead, they're comparing themselves to the Migos, then that's when you know how famous the Migos are. But if you're not being compared to the next 2 generations down the line because they don't even know who you are, it's like you've come and gone and no one knew who you were. I would even say Boyz II Men were a bigger group. It's a bigger group than the Migos even. I mean, people from all walks of life, from all crevices of society, listen to Boyz II Men music in all different occasions. Whether playing in the car, chilling with their friends, at a wedding, regardless of the scenario. You could play Boyz II Men music in a flipping church or a synagogue or a temple you can play their music literally anywhere. You can play it to a 2-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 88-year-old, 100-year-old. Do you understand me? You can play it in the clubs. You know, you can play it romantically with your wife, with your girlfriend, your fiance. Their music spanned everything, while the Migos music is more of a party lit type of music. So you've got to be in a certain mood, in a certain place at a certain time to listen to their kind of music. And that's the point I'm trying to make. So, you know, it just goes to show you where it is in terms of that. So I won't jump into much more than that. I mean, what the Migos are doing is good. I'm not knocking them. I mean, I'd rather them do what they're doing because they profess they came from backgrounds of, you know, the hood and the ghetto, impoverished, where they could have been probably selling drugs and doing gangbanging and stuff. And if that's the choice between it, I'd rather see them doing what they're doing now, feeding themselves, feeding their family, and giving other African Americans opportunities to get on. So I'm not going to put them down and knock him. I'm just simply explaining how celebrities manipulate the media and the system to get us to talk about them. So with that said, I'm just going to end it here.